Hello, everybody. Welcome to Inside the SFCBL. I am your host, Jacob Kelly. And today, for the first episode, we have the SFCBL's newest members with the Palm Beach Matadors. Welcome in the Morales family of Matt, Mitch, and Alex. Guys, how we doing today?
Great, thank you.
Doing
Great.
great.
All right, thank you guys for having us. As I mentioned, this is the newest team to the league, bringing us back to 14. So, gentlemen, if we could go around and introduce ourselves, we'll start with Matt, then Mitch, then Pops will go last. So, gentlemen, you have experience throughout your entire lives around the baseball world. So, can you just give us a simple summary of what you guys have done in your lives in baseball worlds? We'll start off first with Matt.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we grew up in Palm Beach County. We went to Wellington High School, played ball there. Played at a couple of different colleges at Stetson and Palm Beach State. Then signed and played pro ball with the Royals for a few years. And then I've been into coaching in college and been working with the Cubs the last 3 years and now newly with the Texas Rangers. So kind of done a little bit of everything. But, yep.
So yeah, similar to Matt, also went to Wellington High School. I am the older brother actually, so I went before Matt. But yeah, from Wellington High School, I went to Florida Atlantic University in Boca Raton. Played there for 3 years. I signed with San Diego. Got to play a couple years with them. Cup of coffee. From there, I went back to school, finished my degree, and then got into coaching myself. I started at Florida State College of Jacksonville, junior college up in Jacksonville. And then from there, I went to Bethune-Cookman, where I was for a year. And then I got into scouting, where I've been covering South Florida and Puerto Rico for the Minnesota Twins. This will be going into my sixth draft. And now I'm covering all the way up to Jacksonville.
Okay, and I'm the father and grew up in Belle Glade, played at Palm Beach Junior College, then University of South Florida. Got into coaching high school at my alma mater in Belle Glade, and then Forest Hill, went to the junior college for a year. Then got into pro ball in 1994, coaching there with Milwaukee Brewers, which led into managing about 3 years, not about 3 years, and then scouted the whole time. And I've been with Milwaukee, the Atlanta Braves, Major League Scouting Bureau on the pro side. Went to the junior college when the boys were 12 and 8 for 5 years. Then I got back in the pro ball with Washington for the last 14 years. And that's where we stand right now.
So the Morales family knows baseball, is what I'm hearing. A bunch of playing, scouting, all across the game. You guys have contributed so much to the game of baseball. So I guess this question would be best for Alex. Where does this love of baseball come from? You got them into baseball from a young age. You've been involved in baseball on so many levels. Where did this love originate from?
You know, it's hard to say. It's just kind of materialized. It's just where God put me. I tried to get out of baseball, and God kept putting me into the game at different places. I always say that you know, God has always taken care of me, and I've always tried to screw it up. But it's led me to where we are today, and we're in a great place. Um, and through it all, it's just been a wonderful experience for our family. It's kept the four of us together, the two boys, myself, and my wife. She was very supportive in all this, and it's just materialized that way. And it's become a way of life for us, where everything is kind of around our family and baseball and church and all that. So it's just kind of been a part of it. We have a connection through baseball, and it's kept us close.
It's awesome that it's a family matter, that everybody's involved and everyone's doing it together. But I'm sure growing up, there was a little bit of animosity between Matt and Mitch, the competitive nature that comes out with baseball. So I'll let the two of them argue this one out. Matt and Mitch, which one would you say was the more competitive one growing up?
Mitch, take it away.
That's for sure. That's me, no doubt. Much more competitive. I always felt like I had a
What were those?
chip on my shoulder. What's that? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what were those? What were those brotherly competitions? What did they look like? Because I know I got a younger brother who's 2 years younger than me, and at every turn you look to get the one up on them and prove that you're better. So, what did that look like between you two?
I'm 3.5 years older than Matt, so we didn't really play together. There was always a pretty good gap, but I'd say most of that competitiveness was Matt just trying to keep up with me and my friends, and being the age gap that there was, you can imagine it was pretty tough. But he fit in pretty well. So, specifically, I think I'm the more competitive one. But growing up, Matt was always very skillful, and I'll admit he was the better player. So might be a future question, but
Okay, I like it. Well, you guys competed a lot. What were your preferred positions growing up? We'll start with Matt.
Oh, shortstop at all times. Yeah, I mean, we would play second base in a pinch or third base, whatever they needed us to. But I think we pretty much practiced at shortstop at all times, as many ground balls as we could take.
Mitch, you as well, or was there other positions that you'd like to play with?
no, shortstop all the way.
All right, a couple shortstops here. Got some good infielders coming into the SFCBL ownership group. So you guys had your experience growing up, and you played so much ball. You've been around the game so much. Had successful careers on the field that have now translated to off the field. And Alex, we'll start off with you. What do you feel that you've learned from the game of baseball that has been able to give you this ability to give back to the game, now trying to bring in the next generation?
I guess it's the team aspect, the relationship building that really everything about this game is about relationships and in life. But we all raising the boys, and as much as we practiced, which was pretty daily throughout the year, we always tried to include a couple of their closer friends, and so it's just a relationship building and trying to make everybody better. And with that, we've met so many families through baseball when the boys were young in the travel ball stuff, and then at the high school level and the college level, and we've met so many families of the parents that we've remained. That's our closest friends today. It's just all their friends and the parents that go along with that. It's really the main thing. I mean, we competed. We tried to. What I tried to instill in the boys was not just practice to get better. It's a competition within yourself to be the best. Not only in Palm Beach County, but throughout the state of Florida, and you have to separate yourself in this world of baseball, because if you go to a workout or to a college, what separates one player from another, and you have to have something that separates you, that you don't blend in with everybody else. So our thing was, try to be shortstops and try to be the best defenders. Work hard in your speed so that you could be faster than everybody else. And the hitting part has always been the most difficult in any level of baseball. But anyway, it was just a combination of it all, I guess.
And that actually hits on where I wanted to go next with this conversation, is that baseball is such a difficult sport, and there are the tools that are necessary to succeed at a high level, like whether it be commitment or just raw talent you have to have. And this is a question I like to go around the horn with, and we'll start with Matt. So there's so many traits that you need to be, whether you need to be a good shortstop, whether you need to be a good right fielder. There's so many traits that you need to have. But what would you say was the most important trait that you saw both in yourself and now in your professional life since then, in scouting and watching other players play? What would you say is the most important trait you need to have to be a successful ball player?
I think it's the ability to come back from struggles, because at some point you are going to struggle in this game. And for some guys, it's high school, some guys, it's college, and then some guys don't struggle at all until they get the pro ball. And when a guy's down, he's really going to have to, fight to be successful. And his first time not having success at the A-ball level or college level, whatever it may be, and kind of how he works from there. Does he work to, get better? Does he kind of punt and get out of there? How's he treat his teammates and coaches during that time? So, and you can kind of get some of that from watching from the stands, but it's more of a clubhouse thing. But that's the biggest factor, I would say, from guys stepping up and getting to each level outside of just the tools.
And we'll go with that same question to you, Mitch. What was that number one trait that you've learned along the way that you found is most key in order to be a successful ball player?
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to that question. I could take a lot of time here. The easiest answer, I would agree with Matt, it's how you deal with adversity. But outside of dealing with adversity, for me, it's developing your skill set and your tools, which is ultimately what leads you to be a big leaguer. Whether it's hitting the 5 tools we look at with scouting is hitting for power, hitting for average, arm strength, speed, and defense. So in terms of reaching the highest level and being the best player you can be, it's developing your skills and your tools. But to give, like I said, a more blanket statement, an easier answer to that, it would certainly be how they deal with adversity on a day-to-day basis.
So far, 2 for 2 going down the line of adversity. Finally, Alex, you've got more experience than all of us here in this room. What has been your number one thing that you've seen in good ball players that needs to be translated to the next level of the game, excuse me?
Well, I mean, again, like Mitch and Matt said, I agree with what they said. To add to that a little bit is that you have to have a makeup, a character trait that you have to love the process, and the process is not just um, uh, you know being ready for the game. The process goes so much deeper than that. You have to enjoy working out, getting stronger. You have to enjoy the running aspect of it. You have to enjoy the skill set of taking a million ground balls, and spending time at the at the ballpark. And it all kind of blends together. But baseball is not. You have to have talent, but it's more of a skill set. And so the makeup of the individual, and the character trait to want to do all those things and do it consistently on a regular basis. That really is the first requirement, and then from there, you're going to have adversity, and you're going to fail. We had this thing in our family. I think we started it when Mitchell was at FAU. That we were always wanting to celebrate, and in order to celebrate, we were waiting for that 3 for 4 ball game or whatever, and those things are really, really rare, right? So if you made your plays and you didn't strike out, or you went 1 for 3 and you contributed and you guys won, then that became a reason to celebrate, because baseball is such a failure sport. So the little victories go a long ways. So I mean, we could go on forever talking about this, but that's kind of the main thing.
I mean, it is a sport of failure, like you just mentioned. I mean, you go up to the plate and you get out 7 of 10 times. That you do have to find the joy in it, and the joy within the failure to breed success. So with that, again, I'd like to go around the horn. This time we'll start with Mitch. You guys have all had long careers playing baseball, but if you can concentrate on one moment that you can say was your favorite moment, whether it be individual achievement, whether it be team winning, what can you reflect back as your favorite moment that you've had playing baseball or being in baseball in general?
Man, that's a tough one. Favorite moment playing baseball, you said?
Playing or just being in the baseball world?
You want me to go, Mitch?
Yeah, jump in, Matt. I'm gonna think about this one.
All right, mine stood out right away. I knew exactly what I wanted to say. It was my time at Palm Beach State. because I had some struggles at Stetson. I enjoyed my time there, some of my best buddies, but Palm Beach State was where I really got my love for the game back. And we had great teammates, great coaches. We won a bunch of games. It was just like a great locker room. And we ended up losing, I want to say, in the state championship against Chipola. But it was just, we all worked hard together. We all went to the gym together outside of the field. We all went to early work. Like anything we could have done as a team to try and get better, we did it. And then we would all go back to our apartments and hang out. Like it was just a great culture. And we had an absolute blast. So that was among all the things I've done in baseball, I'd say that was definitely the most fun I've had.
Mitch, you got it? Or like to go to Alex first?
No, I'm good. I'll jump in.
All right.
A little bit of a curveball, but I guess mine would be getting back into baseball after being released. I had to deal, as most people do, you got a lot of adversity, try to rediscover yourself a bit when you have your jersey kind of taken away from you, and that took some time for me. And getting back into coaching, which really started out coaching 13U travel ball before it was even junior college baseball. That's what really brought my passion and love back for the game, and ultimately what's led me to scouting and now here being involved with the Matadors. So, if I had to pick one moment, it'd probably be getting back into coaching.
And then Dad, last but not least, what we got?
Yeah, I can't say I have a favorite moment. I mean, my favorite time in my life, I guess, would be the time. The time probably just raising the boys in baseball. That was a lot of fun for me. We just, gosh, it was so much fun taking ground balls, throwing BP for hours, just going to the ballpark. And then it can go to my time at Palm Beach Junior College, which, I coached there for 5 years, and that was a lot of fun too. We won a lot and was around some great young men. And I guess from my scouting perspective, my favorite time was I got to cover Mark McGuire in the years when in that year where he down in Miami where he hit 54, 55 in one game and then 56, 57 in the next game. That was a good time in the scouting world. Of course, winning the World Series with the Washington Nationals and being a part of that in Washington, even though we lost every game at home, but that was pretty cool. So,
Well,
lot of moments.
Talking about Mark McGuire there perfectly leads me into my next question. So you guys have all spent time scouting, and I think I know Alex's answer to this. So you've seen a lot of talented players over the years, but who stands out the most to you, whether it be because of their hard work, whether it be because of their just straight raw talent like Mark McGuire had, and what made them so special?
I'll start it off if you guys don't mind. Yeah, I covered the World Baseball Classic a couple years ago, and so that was a pretty unique scenario because I covered the one down in Miami, so I got to see, the Dominican team, Venezuelan team, Puerto Rico, and then U.S. and Japan ultimately made it to the last, the Final Four. So I got to see a little bit of everybody. But yeah, Shohei Ohtani is the real deal. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I feel like he uses different equipment. He hits balls. He hits balls 50 feet further than anybody you've ever seen, and he's also, probably one of the 5 or 10 fastest players in the big leagues. And then he's a #1 arm, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. I don't know. There's some great players, but he's one of a kind. That's for sure.
Mine was I saw Paul Skeens at the SEC tournament a couple years back, and he was to date the best player I've scouted. It's only been 5 drafts, but man, is it going to be hard to imagine a future arm being better than him. He was playing catch at 100, disgusting slider, table the changeup fell off the table. I mean, was throwing strikes, was walking under 7%, striking out like 45%. It was just, it was special. Wasn't that one wasn't a surprise to a lot of people, I feel like.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the best position player I ever saw from start to finish was probably Alex Rodriguez. The best pitcher I've ever seen is Paul Skeens on the amateur side, and the best story for me is probably Trey Turner, because he grew up with Mitchell, and he's a kid that was so undersized, and everything just worked out perfectly. He was a baseball player first, and then has worked really hard with great makeup and great work ethic, and has become an exciting player. He's not the best, but he's certainly from this area, Palm Beach County. He's been exciting.
He's one of the best.
Yeah.
A lot of good ball players that you guys have witnessed over the years. And I'd like to now switch over to your choice of head coach, going with Alberto Chico Fana. Fana, apologize if I mispronounced that. Could you guys talk me through the process of looking for the first head coach to the Matadors and how you came to the conclusion that he was the man for the job?
Matt, you want me to start?
Do it.
Well, it was a tough process. We had some other names, and in that time it was difficult because we were trying to rush the process because we got this team late, and but Chico, I got to know Chico this past year. I've been kind of helping out a little bit in the fall. I helped out with Kings Academy. I signed Jared Saltalamacchia, and so he's been the coach over there at Kings Academy, and so just to stay involved in baseball a little bit in the off season, I went over there and got to know Chico, and he's a very good man. He has very good experience. He played and coached with the Phillies, and I just got to know him. He's just a good Christian man that has high values and with a very good baseball background, and he's passionate about he's new in Palm Beach County, so he's passionate about trying to get involved in Palm Beach County and getting to meet people. So I just thought it was a perfect fit in during this time, and I think he's going to do a terrific job with his background and just the character and the makeup of who he is.
And I've really noticed how much you've put an emphasis on both family and religion. We've heard this from you, Alex, and I'd like to expand this to both Matt and Mitch. How important is the family and the belief element to you guys, and how has that led to you being successful in your amateur and professional careers?
Yeah, it's always been a factor, and our parents have always made it a point for us to go to church and have values, and so I think that it's always been a massive factor with trusting the process and where we're supposed to be at right now in this time, whether it's struggles or successes. And it's just, I mean, it's just been great all around. I don't really have much more to say about that, but we've stuck through it thick and thin. And family, we all have our arguments and whatnot, like any family, but I think that's why we wanted to do this, because we do have passion for the game and we enjoy being around each other, and we put a good staff together and they have the same values that we have, and it's just going to be, it should be a fun summer. We're excited to get rolling.
Mitch, you got anything to add to that?
Nope. It's always been faith first and family second. So we've kind of always lived that way, and that's how we were raised, and still rolling.
No, it's really beautiful to hear. It really is a family connection. The kids come through these leagues. It's not just that. It's their families. It's the whole support system behind them. So it's great to see that the newest comers into the South Florida Collegiate Baseball League represent the same beliefs that we have in the people that we be playing in this league. So many great families that we've got to experience over the years, and it really takes a family to make a kid grow and be successful. I got a couple more questions for you guys. I thank you very much for your time here again, here with Palm Beach Matadors, newest addition to the South Florida Collegiate Baseball League. And that name, Matadors, is there a special meaning behind that? What was the choice? What was the decision-making process that came down to Matadors?
Mitch.
Mitch.
Matt's got this one.
Well, we were just thinking of names that were outside the box, and I still don't even know exactly what a matador is. I think it's like a bull rider, but yeah, it's a cool name. We love the logo, and that's pretty much it. We're keeping it simple.
Hey, that's enough. It's cool. The logo looks awesome. I say a pretty good choice with that. And as we conclude, three of you guys here got around 100 years of experience, give or take, in baseball. And if somebody watching in this, young man or their family, potentially be playing for one of your teams one day. So as we conclude, I'd like to get one last word from each of you guys as to what you bring to them, what a player can expect for playing for your team, and where can they grow as a player underneath you guys. We'll start off with Mitch.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great opportunity in the summer to grow as a player and have a stress-free environment to become the best version of yourself. A lot of times when these guys are at school, they're expected to perform, and if they don't perform, that can work you out of a lineup pretty quick. So obviously we want to create a winning environment where we want to win, we want to play to win, but ultimately we want to give these kids a chance to really develop and get better and provide everything they need to get better as a player and obviously continue to grow as a person. But I think that's our main goal. I'll let these guys answer as well, but from my perspective, it's to provide that environment for these guys. And we'll have obviously the resources to make that happen.
Matt.
All right. Yeah, along the same lines, just we'd like to have kids come here to Palm Beach County and feel free to get a great 2 months of player development, get those at-bats, get those innings. Like Mitch said, stress-free. It's all about working hard. It's all about enjoying time with your teammates and enjoying the game. And, we've only heard great things about the league, and it's great competition. So we just want to give these guys a great summer.
Well, Jacob, I don't know if you know this, but I've been a board member for many years, South Florida Collegiate League. So, we've kind of been involved a little bit, and especially at the scouting level. We go out there and watch the games, but when we talked about putting this together, and obviously both of the boys played summer ball. Mitchell played in the Cape. And Matt played. He played before he got to college. He was after he graduated, he played up in New England, and then he played in the Northwood League. So we, the thing about this is, this should be a fun time, and I think that's what the players want to do is come down here and have a fun time. At the same time, we will be accessible depending on our job situations during the summer and how much we can get involved. But with the coaching staff that we put together, they have a ton of experience in the catching aspect and the pitching aspect. The pitching coaches, Josie, who was a very successful pitcher at FAU. We have Matt Judkins over from Palm Beach Gardens High School. That's a terrific man and a great person and a very good high school coach. And then, of course, Chico's background. So when we are all together, we want to give them access to our experience or our experiences. And we're there for the boys if they want to get better and if they want to take the next step. we're willing and will be willing to help them. If they want to just go there and just be a part of it, and that's fine too. Um, but the player development side, let me explain a little bit how it's going to happen. Because it's not going to be 9 players that's going to play every, or 8 position players going to play every game. That's not the way it's going to work. If we have 5 outfielders, we're going to rotate them, and they're going to play. And if we have 4 middle infielders, they're going to rotate in and out of the lineup, and everyone is going to play. They're going to get at bats. Um, and if we have to win a game for the playoff situation, then you try to put the best 9. But um, we want everyone to play. We want everyone to have access to getting better if that's what they choose to do. And we're going to be high character. We're not going to have anybody. We're going to hold those boys accountable for if they throw a bat, if they have a temper tantrum. We're not a part of that. We're not going to be a part of that. The umpires are going to be our friends. They're not going to be someone that we're going to work against. No one out there is trying to do poorly. Everyone is going to try to have success, and we know it's a game of failure. And so, with that said, we want this to be stress free. We want it to have fun. We're going to have guidelines. They're going to be accountable, but we want it to be fun. We want guys smiling on the field. All right. And hey, if they want to take 100 ground balls, we're going to be willing to help them take 100 ground balls, and if they don't, that's up to them. That's up to them. But, and we're going to have, it's just going to be a fun summer for the group to get better according to their own abilities. So.
Well, it absolutely should be a fun summer. Matt, Mitch, Alex, thank you all very much for your time here today. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the Palm Beach Matadors, the SFCBL's newest team. Thank you all very much for coming here today and speaking with us.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jacob.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you, guys, and thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.